You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by Minor Family Dentistry and by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History. Minor Family Dentistry would like to bring you the following dental health tip. It's recommended to have a dental checkup no later than your child's first birthday. An adult should brush for a young child and monitor older children's brushing to ensure a good job is done. Flossing should start when teeth are touching. Minor Family Dentistry wishes you good dental health. Families, including children of all ages, are welcome. Minor Family Dentistry, 1010 Downing and Hayes. Find them in the Next Tech directory.
So, you think you have skeletons in your closet? Come to Sternberg Museum, where we let our skeletons out of the closet.
Hello, and welcome to You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. My name is Dana Stanton, and I'm the coordinator of the West Central Kansas Smart Start program. And with me today, I have lots of friends. First of all, I have Joan Dunn. Good morning, Joan.
Good morning.
And also, we have a special guest, Lindsay Christenberry, and her son, Levi. Good morning, Lindsay. Now, Lindsay and Levi are just going to do some playing in the background, so they're going to kind of show us some things. But, Joan, you're going to talk to us. First of all, Joan, tell us what organization you work for and what do you do there?
Okay, I'm the coordinator of the Early Childhood Connection 0 to 3 program. And each year we do a block fest, which involves playing and building with 5 different types of blocks. But block play is such an important part of development, and there's so many things to learn from it. We're just going to focus on these blocks today.
Okay. So you said there's lots of things that a child can get from block play. What's the value of playing with blocks?
Well, like I said, there are many reasons, but just starting at the beginning, we can look at, with literacy, there's a progression in learning how to read. Well, with block play, you're going to learn numeracy, or just how numbers are involved in everyday life. And there are just all kinds of math concepts. We can learn counting, sizes. We have some early geometry because we can talk about shapes rather than just talking about a circle. We can talk about cylinders. A square becomes a cube. So we have early geometry. We also have pre-algebra skills, which includes the sorting and matching and making sets. There's just tons of things you can learn about volume, a lot of problem solving. As we look at this structure here, look how he has matched his cylinders to make his top. Just a lot of problem solving going on.
A lot of math. Now, Levi, can you count these blocks? How many blocks are here? Can you count those? 6, he counted to 6, so that would be math. And obviously he's learning his shapes. You're doing awesome, Levi. Now you've got on this list science concepts. What kind of science concepts could you learn from playing with blocks?
Well, along with the math concepts, science is very, very much encouraged with block play. We're going to have volume. We're going to have different textures, sequencing, talking about the weight. These are the wooden blocks, which are some of the heaviest ones that we have. You can also use foam blocks and compare the different weights and things like that. And also just parts to whole. For instance, this piece here, can I borrow this one? Can you fit it in that block there? So now he's ending up with a rectangle and just parts to whole, all kinds of science concepts, and the list goes on and on.
It almost looks like one big experiment, what fits with what, how much can you stack up before it falls over, so, you can certainly see how science could be involved in that. What other areas of development?
Well, as you mentioned, the problem solving, so we definitely have the intellectual development going on, just trying to figure out. There are various stages of block play, and as you go through those different stages, it shows how children start with the beginning examining the blocks to lining them up to being creative and making their castles and things like that. In Idaho, they actually do a competition, and they use little wooden planks, and they make these elaborate structures out of thousands of blocks, and just fun things like that.
Now, I know I'm thinking about, what if we had Levi's little brother here? What kind of skills could we throw in there?
Oh, there we're going to get the social skills, depending on how many children are playing with the blocks. You notice right now, Mom is not in competition with for the same block that her son is, but if you get children together, you're going to have to learn some of those social skills, taking turns, maybe waiting till they're finished with a particular block till you want to use it, and cooperation. A lot of social skills.
Now, Levi looks like he is a pro. He is stacking and making some pretty cool things, but are there certain stages that, maybe a very young child would start out with when they're first playing with blocks?
There definitely are stages. When we talk about the very first stage, that's simply discovering blocks. That's when you have your older infants, mouthing them, feeling them, things like that. Around 12 to 14 months, you're going to start learning to stack blocks. There you're going to have fine motor skills developing and just the hand-eye coordination. After stacking, we get into more complex stacking, which, we have a very complex structure right there, where you're combining vertical and horizontal stacks to make more complex patterns. We can make enclosures and simply doing a flat surface, but making, your shapes like
My kids
that.
would make the barnyard. They'd make a corral and something like that.
Right,
Yeah.
you got to fence in those animals. Then we get to creating bridges or arches, and that can be done in various ways. A 3-year-old is just beginning to know how to do a bridge, which is as simple as taking 2 blocks, and then you have a block across and the space in the middle. After that, we're going to do enclosures and bridges, and then we can do patterns. The little colored blocks, which you notice he hasn't even investigated, but you can also do the more formal type of, you can do the cards, and this particular set that I have starts with simple patterns to more complex. Most kids...
That's got to be pre-algebra.
That definitely is. And then when you look at some of these, it's like, oh, okay, so how am I going to do that? And then you get to where you're building, you have blocks in the inside, you have spaces that you don't see on the outside, so it becomes very complex. But my favorite part about blocks is just letting them play and explore and discover. And typically, I wouldn't even put these out. If you wanted to be more formal, you could, but let them do the discovery.
Now, do you need to use any sort of special blocks like the ones he's playing with, or anything particular?
No, actually, those good old Tupperware containers and plastic containers you have at home are perfect. You can use the canned goods, of course. Just make sure they don't remove the labels so you know what's inside. But just empty boxes, anything can be used to make for block building.
Now, if people have questions about this or maybe want to attend a future Block Fest event or anything like that, what contact number could they reach you at?
Okay, our office number is 623-2440, and we are having a Block Fest event in early November.
All right. Thank you so much, Joan. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Levi. You have done an awesome job building. Thank you very much. You've been watching You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. Parents, remember, you are your child's first and best teacher. Thank you.
Thanks for watching You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You can watch the program weekdays in the noon and 9 o'clock hours. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by Minor Family Dentistry and by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History.